Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Busch Light Studios. This is ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Get your celebration on. The Razorbacks take a bite out of the Baylor Bears.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, it is a Wednesday. It is Inauguration Day, and I don't know. I feel like I'm competing with for some people's attention this afternoon as of right now. You know,
you're probably competing with mine and Matty T's attention right now, so we got it on here in the background with us.
I guess you're listening either to this show or to the new president, to Joe Biden, for the inauguration. That's quite a lot in my mind, to try to battle against here. You know, you could go up against the president of the United States today on a Wednesday when you want to talk some sports, and you got basketball later tonight. Gonna have to stay up. You can be able to stay up late for this one with an 8 o'clock tip.
I'm going to try to. See, the difference this time, if you'd asked me this 3 months ago, hell no, probably not. Now I've got the lady that I can stay up and she can keep me company until 10 o'clock. So, and I think she'd appreciate that. So I'm planning on staying up. But I think
there are non-caffeinated ways to stay awake and divert your attention.
That is very true.
Make sure you put all eyes on Arkansas Auburn later tonight.
You mentioned us competing, though. Yes, we can't compete with the inauguration, but Maddie, I think us three goofballs, we can give it our best shot.
I would say listen to us, and if you really want to watch, just put on the subtitles on the TV.
There you go.
We don't have subtitles.
See, problem solved.
Would have never thought about that. Like, that's how so many people watch movies and TV shows on Netflix and all of that stuff now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So would you watch an inauguration the same way? So anyway, I'm gonna watch it later on.
Obviously, we're more important than the inauguration, right?
Yeah, and we have a couple of people that remind us. You know, most of the political leanings here across Arkansas means we might have a pretty large audience today. So I think we might have a pretty decent-sized audience. So I do wonder, all right, you want to do some news breaking? You want to have some fun with some news breaking?
Let's do it.
We have a new president of the United States. There you go. There's
3 days in a row.
For now. That's 3 days in a row. We've done it now 3 days in a row, breaking news without really any effort either. Just kind of being lucky to be on the air at 11 o'clock when the news starts coming out. So it's funny. I thought about this. 2 days ago, the news about Jeremy Pruitt's firing comes out right after we got on the air. Yesterday, 2 minutes before we got on the air, the Razorback Baseball Twitter account alerts everybody that they're going to be releasing the baseball schedule at lunchtime, which is a broad time. But they put it out there right at noon. So that's. They said around lunchtime. They did it right at lunchtime. If you're gonna say noon, and then so I wonder if we could do it today. The president, a new president. That's breaking enough news for me. So that's 3 days in a row. And you remember what manager Lou Brown of the Cleveland Indians said about 3 in a row, right?
All right, you guys, let's listen up. We won a game yesterday. And if we win one today, that's 2 in a row. We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before. So let's see some hustle. Let's jack it up a little.
Yeah, so let's see some hustle, guys. Let's jack it up a little bit. We broke news again. Congratulations.
It's such a good
real
movie.
Journalists again, yeah.
Oh.
Maybe there'll be something else coming on. By the way, that one's Major League 2. That's number 2.
I don't think I've ever
watched.
I don't think I've ever seen
that was
the second
2?
one.
I thought that came
number 2. So
didn't he say something about it?
When you say that's a good movie, remember which one you're referring to.
No. I thought that winning streak comment came from 1.
And it does have to be 3 to be a streak, right?
That's exactly
because
right.
I just in the last week I heard somebody say 2 wins are on a winning streak. It's like no. They've won 2 games.
No, well, I used to think it was 2 in a row, and I mean, if Lou Brown says it, then it's got to be true.
Yeah.
So
Arkansas is not on a 2-game losing streak. No,
that's right. That's right. That's exactly where I heard it. It's 2-game losing streak.
Right.
Boy,
so it's not a streak.
Mr. Optimism.
Yeah, until tonight.
But he's right. I mean, if 2 in a row is not a winning streak, then 2 in a row is not a losing streak.
There you go. We just lost 2 in a row.
Hopefully, we don't have a real losing streak to talk about tomorrow when the show starts. By the way, 4 out of 5 games with a loss, that's also not a losing streak. That's just playing bad basketball for the most part.
Exactly.
3 out of those 5 games were really poorly played games for the Razorbacks. And tonight, I mean, they're going to get – they don't get the same Auburn team that they saw, only 3 weeks ago. Much better team than they defeated. And the honest part about this is you look back at that win over an Auburn team that did not have a real point guard. Doesn't that sound like an issue of a team you know pretty well too? They didn't have a true point guard and still scored 85 and hit 15 threes. But of course, Bruce Pearl says we're not going to hit 15 threes against Arkansas. And he was shocked that they hit at 15 threes and still lost. That's right. Well, Alabama did it and they won. They've got a real point guard now.
Well, yeah, and I look back at that Auburn matchup too. I mean, how many of those 3-pointers that Auburn made of those 15? How many of them were just they had a guy right in their grill and they were just almost like BS 3-pointers more than anything, just throwing it straight up at the rim and there everything was going down. So, but
I don't know. 15 out of 29 one time is it feels fluky, but then when you see what what Bama did. By the way, they didn't just do that against Arkansas. They did it against LSU yesterday. 105 points for Alabama. My gosh, it's like they'd just taken the streak of the football season for the Crimson Tide and converted it to basketball. By the way, that Crimson Tide basketball team was not great in the non-conference portion. They lost 3 games, and ever since, gosh, it's funny how these things work out. Ever since the college football playoff, the Alabama basketball team is unbeaten. Do these things work together? By the way, their women's basketball team has been playing well, too. So we always say football dominates over Alabama to the detriment of the other programs. Maybe it's actually raising them a little bit, too.
It's going to be fun to be tracking this whole thing all afternoon.
I'm hoping we break some other news that involves sports, not politics today. So, we got a couple of hours to worry about it. And we'll see if something happens.
Well, they broke a little bit of news this morning on the Morning Rush. Nothing too drastic, but the retiring of Phillip Rivers, going from the Chargers and then to the Indianapolis
That's something
Colts,
you saw that coming, though. I mean, that seemed to be the writing was on the wall, and you feel the same way about Drew Brees. So it's I guess it's that time of the year too. Legendary quarterback retirements. Brees has to be retiring too, right? I mean, he just did not look like a quarterback that's got the arm strength to throw it down the field on any sort of consistent basis for another full season.
I've gone back and forth on it. I think he is, but I think it also may play in the back of his mind. Is that the last impression we want of Drew Brees? Because he didn't play well at all. I think it was a 3-interception performance. So I don't know. I don't think he necessarily has anything left to prove. He has a Super Bowl, which a lot of quarterbacks can say that they don't have that. So he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's done well. He's done very well in his career. I don't know what else he has left to gain except for just like a personal battle. Just be like, if that's his last game, how do you want to be remembered on that last play?
So Rivers has announces his retirement. That leaves Roethlisberger as the only part of that famed 2004 quarterback class that's still playing in the NFL. Is anybody else from the 2004 draft class playing in the NFL? Those careers don't usually last that long. And it's interesting because there's such a debate about, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? You feel the same way about Phillip Rivers. Is he a Hall of Famer? Manning's got the 2 Super Bowls and, all the Giants records. I honestly don't know how you could keep him out. I don't know how I feel about Rivers. He was almost like in a sort like a Dan Marino, a guy that stayed with that one franchise for so long until this last year, and so often didn't really have a lot of help around him. I mean, he did have a great tight end in Gates for a long time, and some other weapons, but never even did he even make it to a conference championship game. It's interesting to look at that because I mean, now how many quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame since the Super Bowl era began, never even played in a conference championship.
Yeah.
Like Roethlisberger's going into the Hall of Fame. Whether you hate him or not, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Aside from the 2 Super Bowls, I mean, he's up there in all the passing yards and all that stuff, and the guy's played forever. He's Super Bowl. I mean, he's Hall of Fame. Maybe even first ballot. Manning's going to get in this year first ballot. That's obvious. Boy, and I really want him to go in with Charles Woodson just because it would entertain Bill King, who joins us later on to talk about. I think we're pretty much going to focus on the Tennessee explosion with Bill, as he's right there in Tennessee, kind of between Nashville and Knoxville, so that'll be an interesting conversation to have with him. Clay Henry is going to dial in with us in 20 minutes, and we'll get heavy into baseball with Clay because Hogs Illustrated has their baseball season preview coming out. We had a great conversation with Nate Thompson yesterday. We got the baseball schedule out. It means the birds will be chirping. And we're going to be smelling fresh-cut grass any day now, right? 877-377-6963. Stay with us here on Halftime.
Previously on Ruskin and Zach.
And the first thing Phil Fulmer says is, well, his recruiting was pretty good. You can't do this. Go back to the country bumpkin jubilee where you belong, you imbecile. If the guy's being fired for recruiting violation, the first thing you praise can't be the recruiting because it was illegal.
Don't miss out on Ruskin and Zach every weekday from 3 to 7, only on ESPN 95.3.
Standard.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
That's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Wheeler Power Sports. Claim up to $150 in Wheeler Power Sports cash, along with chances to win other prizes just for riding your bike this winter. The contest runs through March the 6th, so make sure every time you get on your bike, check in at Wheeler Power Sports. For more on the Frozen Knuckles Challenge, go to WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports is located at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Man, I just want to ride, man. I just want to ride.
RV show pricing is arriving early at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV wants to invite you to skip the lines and the crowds this year and shop the industry's best brands at Northwest Arkansas's premier RV dealer, and with a lifetime warranty, RV storage, and a mobile service shuttle. Owning a new RV has never been easier. RV show pricing beginning now at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Here's Gunner and Jeb.
Hey, Gunner, got any resolutions for 2021?
Sure do. I'm going to take my wife out to dinner once a week, do the dishes every night, and stop leaving my socks and beer cans in the living room. I'm even going to clean up after the dogs so my wife don't have to do it.
How long you think that's going to last?
Shoot, I don't know. What's today?
When you're buying or selling real estate, go with a team that makes promises, not resolutions. Nick and Ellie Gladwell at nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity. Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
The new year brings big changes to the Catfish Kitchen Kitchen in Van Buren. Now serving family-style, all-you-can-eat dinner. All the catfish, chicken tenders, fried shrimp, fries, and all the fixings for only $22.95. Add crab legs for just an additional $20. The 2- and 4-piece dinners are still available. But if you're really hungry for an all-you-can-eat destination where everything is cooked to order, get over to the Catfish Kitchen in Van Buren. Open Thursday through Saturday, 11 till 8, Sunday, 11 till 3. The Catfish Kitchen at the top of Logtown Hill in Van Buren.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Wilson working to the right elbow, fades away from the blocks. Barnum challenged the shot, grabs the rebound, throws it up the floor. Slocum behind the back in the front court. Dungy in the left corner, transition, three's on the way. Yes! Chelsea Dungy, a fast break three, and Arkansas leads 61-56.
Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into halftime at 877-377-6963.
You heard the comeback there of Arkansas women's basketball. Chelsea Dungy has just been she's a human being dressed as a bucket, essentially. Hogs women's basketball don't play again until Monday night against Georgia on the road. They were supposed to host Vanderbilt next Thursday. Vanderbilt canceled the rest of their season, so I think the team is looking for a new opponent for next Thursday, and hopefully they can find one. And obviously, if you're looking for a new opponent, that means they're not going to be an SEC team. So I thought maybe the SEC might move one of the games from later on in February to next Thursday, but it doesn't seem that's the case. So hopefully they'll find somebody, and because I don't really think playing one game in the next 2 weeks really is all that great of an idea. We got a question in from the 817. D1 Baseball came out with their report on Arkansas last night. I missed it, so I'll have to take a look at it later on this afternoon. It says the D1 Baseball lists Caleb Bolden, Zebulon Vermillion, and Patrick Wicklander as the starters for the weekend pitching staff. And he wants to know what I think about Caleb Bolden potentially being the guy that goes up against whomever it is they're going to face on opening day. He refers to Texas. I think it could be any one of those three teams because the baseball schedule has the first three opponents each is TBA, and that's not the name of any university that they're playing. I think Bolden could be the Friday guy. I remember watching him pitch a couple times last season before the shutdown, and it looked like he was back from the Tommy John surgery. I think he really could be a difference maker. There's no doubt about that. The other two, Vermillion, I mentioned that yesterday. I think he's somebody that could, if he gets stretched out, he's got a great live arm. Could be an interesting option as a starter. Wicklander, absolutely. It's what I think he's much more capable as a starter than as a reliever. And you'll notice there's no Connor Noland listed there on D1 Baseball. So that was going to be my question.
Yeah, because where's Nolan at in this whole deal?
Well, I mean, you can't go just by the two games that he pitched in the fall. I mean, whatever he looks like now, and whatever he's going to look like in the next few weeks will determine that. But then again, the guys at D1 Baseball usually do their yeoman's work at speaking with the coaches about the teams they're writing about. So they might have some interesting information to look at. All right, so we'll get into more baseball with Clay in the next segment. He not only spoke with Dave Van Horn, he spoke with both of the assistants, and they've got a lot of great stuff in Hogs Illustrated coming up about the baseball season. But I want to dig into basketball here because SmackDown is funny. Tom Murphy referred to Auburn's tough first half, or really bad first half, against the Kentucky Wildcats. And I'm looking at, hey, Arkansas played a pretty poor first half too. But the difference was at least Auburn defended well. Kentucky could not shoot at all in their first half. So while Auburn only put up 21 in the first half, they held Kentucky to 25. Mm-hmm. And then Auburn just blows the doors off him in the second half and runs away with it. So, they were able to put that first half misery behind them. I'm sure plenty of it was because they at least defended well to hang around in the game. Arkansas has not defended well in the first half the last 2 ball games. They have not offensively played with any sort of rhythm or creativity. The confidence issue Muss referred to yesterday, I think that's been on display offensively too. And whatever has happened in the second half just hasn't mattered because, the first 10, 15 minutes essentially decided that game. Auburn's coming off a really good second half. And I think they're stabilizing with Sharif Cooper because, that was the main thing that they didn't have against Arkansas was a point guard. They turned it over a lot. They are turning it over still a little bit now, just not as much. And Cooper is averaging like 10 assists. And according to Bruce Pearl and according to Eric Musselman, he has next-level court vision. Like Pearl even referred to it as he sees the court in ways nobody else does, in dimensions nobody else does, vertically, horizontally, and he sees it in a matrix. Was the way that he viewed it. So I was sort of like viewing Cooper playing Neo in the Matrix, like dodging bullets left and right. But
right.
It just seems like this is one of these players who's not just really good at his position, but just makes everybody else that much better. And I think judging by the outcomes for Auburn of late, and certainly offensively, they've been a lot better. He hasn't shot well, but he's creating opportunities for other players, especially Alan Flanagan.
Well, I think that when you look at past basketball teams, whether it be the Razorbacks or teams that have won championships, every team has had a true point guard or that guard that was going to get your guys lined up in the correct spots and do it. Last year's team, I don't think necessarily had that quote-unquote true point guard, but you had a guy in Mason Jones that was just a bona fide killer that was going to get a good shot out of the deal. Isaiah Joe the same way. I think you might have saw a little bit of that out of Desi Sills. But you look at teams that have won championships. You can look professionally. You can look professionally, you can look collegiately, anywhere. They've got that guard. Arkansas has plenty of scores on this team. It's just they need that one little thing. What they say Major League, we need something to bring it all together. You need the point guard, and yes, there are plenty more.
That's what
issues.
A point guard does, yeah.
Right.
In some cases,
stabilizes things. He gets his troops lined up and ready to rock and roll. So, but that's not the only issue. I'm really curious to see. I'm not so necessarily worried. Yes, effort is an issue. I think it's more confidence, like I've been saying for the past few days. You're finally playing at home. You've been on a 2-game road trip. How is this team going to come out at home? Because if they come out flat at home, you might that could be crucial. I'm not. Who knows if we'll win tonight? I think we will. I think they'll come out with a chip on their shoulder, ready to prove, like, look, we still got this thing. And I think is it safe to say you probably just played the 2 best teams in the SEC on the road?
Well, probably. Tennessee got destroyed yesterday at Florida. I thought Tennessee would have been in that category. I think they still are, but Bama now appears to be at least the hottest team in the league, and they just destroyed LSU. So I think it's Alabama right now, and maybe everybody else for the time being.
Well, you've played 6 SEC games, so we'll throw Tennessee in there. 3 of your first 6 against the best teams in the SEC on the road. So, I'm not making any excuses because
you're right. You have played a really tough schedule here to open conference play, and man, I mean that really does play itself against the weakness of the non-conference schedule, of which, I think it sounded, Musk kind of fought back against that theory after the win against Auburn, but now I think you might have seen that play out in some cases. And I was thinking about this, how to explain it yesterday, and I don't know if I did well enough. Like, athletes have pride of the way they go about their business. They have pride in competing, especially players that stick around in college for 4 or 5 years and are looking for an opportunity to get to a bigger stage. I mean, you come here playing with pride, and you just haven't seen that on the court the last 2 games. And I think, Muss has spoken about some of his messaging isn't getting through defensively, and, he's laying it on himself that he's got to coach better. And at some point, I would imagine a lot of the messaging has to be about, what happened to the pride that I see from all of you guys normally at practice? What happened to the pride that you showed when you beat the Auburn Tigers on the road after, one of your leaders went down with an ankle injury early in that game? At some point, it has to become about an athlete's and a team's pride, competing, not just going out there and, well, we're here and we'll see what happens. I think that's kind of what you're getting at. You play at home, you'll have you'll have some of your fans there. You won't have the usual sort of a crowd, but you'll have your fans there. And you've got to get out there and play with pride.
You got to generate your own want to. You got to generate your own motivation in a sense, because in normal years you would have 17,000, 18,000 crammed inside Bud Walton Arena, and that'll generate the blood flow and get you moving. You can't do that with 3,000 people in there. And for his popping in crowd noise, whatever, you've got to find motivation. And they got plenty of motivation sitting right in front of them after getting your ass kicked the past 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, and right now, I'm not sure if it's a team that would be able to rebound from another slow start. I mean, it turns into a script that eventually just becomes self-fulfilling. Can't happen again. It's too simplistic so often to say, well, this team needs a quick start, get out to a hot start. Some teams just are good stalking from behind, or they have the ebb and the flow of the game, and like Arkansas right now is not that team. They've come out flat 2 games in a row, and that's just been the way it is. So I feel like for this one tonight against Auburn, first 5 minutes, first 6, 7 minutes, they're going to be a big story for me. All right, we'll turn the conversation over to baseball with Clay Henry. If you got questions for him, I got good questions for him for baseball. You might have good ones too. 877-377-6963. Stay with us on Halftime.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
This Saturday, DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the UFC, is offering new players a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with first deposit. Fantasy MMA is easy to play. Just pick 6 fighters, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for advances, takedowns, and more. Download the DraftKings app and use code KJZ to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes throughout the weekend. That's code KJZ, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC has over 200 pre-owned vehicles to choose from luxury to economy and everything in between, including over 50 great vehicles with payments under $250 a month, certain to fit your needs and your budget. And at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, you always get more for your trade. 50 vehicles with payments under $250 a month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
I'm Matt Brown, PGA professional at the Ben Guerin Golf Course and director of the Ben Guerin Youth Golf Academy. We offer affordable weekly junior golf classes throughout the year to kids ages 3 through 16, including an LPGA, USGA, girls-only golf class. If you're looking for a fun and safe environment for your child to learn the game of golf, then consider the Ben Guerin Youth Golf Academy. Classes will start in March of 2021. For more information, please call 646-2444.
Who's ready for a nicer, newer year? I sure am. Hi, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. 2020 is finally over, and I'm ready to celebrate with terrific savings on a huge inventory of Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. If you're waiting on your tax refund, come in today. Our TaxMax program can get you access to your money now. Owe more than your trade is worth? My transparent trade appraisal process can help with that by getting you up to $3,150 extra for your trade. Got past credit problems? My For the People credit approval process can get you approved and driving your nicer, newer car today. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with a basic oil change starting at just $24.95, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Start your nicer, newer year in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center. A better way to drive. 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Anytime you have a player miss games, your identity is going to change. Look, we've lost to three ranked teams, and so we've got to regroup. We've got to understand that there's still a lot of basketball to be played, but you're going to go through some ebbs and flows in trying to figure out your identity, especially in a COVID year.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
And our friend Clay Henry joining us for the next couple of segments on Halftime. As usual on a Wednesday, the publisher, editor of Hogs Illustrated, got the baseball issue coming out, which always means that it's going to put a smile on your face, Clay. Won't it? You love writing baseball, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It is my favorite issue of the year, and I think it was maybe our third or fourth year. This is year 30 for Hogs Illustrated.
Wow.
It was our third or fourth year I decided to add an issue, and we made it the baseball preview, printed it the last week in January. It's the date, the cover date is February 15th, so that when we put it on the newsstand, so it'll stay there, 2 or 3 weeks. You post date them. But it's been one of our most popular issues. It's my favorite issue, and, because I can dive into it really before anybody else. And Dave Van Horn and whoever's been the position coaches pitching and hitting have always been gracious with their time, and a little bit different this year because you can't do in-person interviews. But first of all, Dave Van Horn is a wonderful interview. He just is terrific, and I've always said, hey, I need 30 to 45 minutes, and it'll be 2 hours, and we'll just sit and talk, and just about it. And we could be talking about a lot of different things. Could be duck hunting, it could be anything. But I consider him a good friend, and we just we talked last Friday, and earlier in the week I had an hour with Nate Thompson, an hour with Matt Hobbs, and both of those guys are terrific interviews. And Hobbs may be as good as anybody I've ever interviewed in any sport. I'm talking about a coach. And you better be careful what you ask him, because he's going to talk for 5 minutes on every question, and then it's like, then you just did you get to all the things you wanted to get to? So make sure that you have a good priority. But he was terrific. So I've got a lot. This issue, it's pretty much all baseball, 40 pages, and it's got I'd say 15,000 words on baseball, maybe 15, 20 pictures. So it's a fun issue. And, baseball's been so good that it's just, the subject matter is just wonderful. We've got a center spread. It's about 10 pages that Matt Jones did. This year is the 25th anniversary of Baum Stadium. So we went back and had 25 best moments. And then Matt kind of, interviewed Norm DeBryan and had some stuff from Dave Van Horn on just what's happened at Baum and what it is. So a lot of fun stuff in this issue.
Well, good. So then I'm going to let you take this segment in the direction you'd like. Where you want to go? You want to go lineup? You want to go pitching? You want to go schedule? What do you think?
Yeah, let me talk a little bit about pitching, because I listened to you yesterday, and that kind of sounds like where you have the iffy feeling. Not sure. And pitching is it doesn't really matter how good you are. It matters. I'm talking about stuff. Like can you can you break it? Can you got all these pitches and can you throw velocity? We've seen midweek starters come in, against the Razorbacks that throw 85, 86, but they can throw strikes and they can pitch, and that's what's most important. Well, obviously, if you got somebody with velocity that can do both, well, then you've got an Isaiah Campbell. But we didn't get last season for some of these guys that have been here a little while to get their innings. Yeah. So they got them. Some of them went and pitched in the summer, but they don't have SEC experience, and
that's why I'm going with so many. That's why I used
and that's
so
fair.
Often yesterday.
Yeah, and that's fair. So, it's when you talk to Hobbs, his feeling is that they've got the most pitching arms. I'm talking about high velocity guys of any Power 5 program in the last decade, and he's seen them all. And so the talent is there. Now, the problem is, picking out who to give the innings early. They pitched 16 pitchers in the first 16 games last year, and then they were ready to go to conference play, and I think they had figured it out. And Vermillion, had started the year with a hamstring, and then he was back to pitching. And then they kind of had figured out, some of the young guys that they could count on. And, Zach Morris was one of them. And, Caden Monk was kind of coming on and, that kind of stuff. But two or three things on this staff to note. And one of them is the lefty grad senior transfer from University of Houston, Lael Lockhart, 6'3", 225, lefty. And he throws 89 to 92. Well, that's not on the upper end of their velocity, but that is still really good velocity. He can hit his spots with 4 pitches, tough as nails. Matt said they pitched him, brought him in the middle of the innings. They started him. They pitched him in long relief in the fall and said he's just tough as nails. And I said, well, how'd you know about him? And he said, well, we saw his name in the portal. He was a Friday night starter the last 2 years at Houston, lefty. And I think he'll pitch on the weekend. I mean, he'll be a starting pitcher. And I think, that you already mentioned, I think y'all talked in the last segment about Bolden and Wicklander. And Wicklander started off slow in the fall and then picked it up his last 2 or 3 outings and 2 or 3 bullpens, and then has been terrific in his bullpens in January. His velocity has jumped. Command of more than one pitch. He's got 3 or 4 pitches now. I think you're going to see kind of the Wicklander, what they thought would have happened last year, and he just was off at the start of last year. Really good as a freshman, and I think he'll be a high strikeout guy, and be able to give him. He's up in his numbers already in the bullpen. I think he'll be able to give him the 4 or 5 innings that you need early. The guy that Matt really talked about that he thinks will be the story this year is Kevin Kopps. And he's a 6th-year guy, a 3-year captain, had an off year, really, last fall wasn't really good, and then his ERA last year in the few times that he pitched was 8. He was on his way to pitching himself to the bench, at the start of SEC play last year when they stopped the season. He has kind of reinvented himself. He's lost some weight. The headline of my column says "thin to win," and I'm going to go a little deeper in that. But he has gained the depth in his cutter, and it's a strike now. And they said, last year in the fall and the spring, that it kind of backed up in the zone and was a fat pitch. And Matt said it was kind of in the cement mixer. It's that pitch that everybody just smoked. But they couldn't hit him in the fall, and he's looked terrific in his bullpens this January. And so I think you'll see him in long relief and be a guy like maybe 3 years ago that he pitched 30 times. He's going to be a guy that they trust based on what he did. Their hitters just could not touch him and had that devastating cutter that moves 6 or 7 inches, and you think it's the fastball, and you swing and you miss it by 6 or 7 inches. And so anyway, and then how much more time we got?
Got about a minute 30.
Okay.
And I think you wanted to bring up Peyton Paulette, right?
I did. So Peyton Paulette, who's sophomore, he's looks like Blaine Knight, 6'3", 170, thin, and I'm sorry, 6'1", 175. I just gave you Caden Monk, who's another thin to win guy. But Paulette was throwing like 92, 93, which is good. And he goes to summer baseball, and Matt gets a call from his coach at Santa Barbara, who he knew, and he says, "Your guy's hitting 96, 97." He goes, "No, like recalibrate your gun. That's not what he throws." And then he starts getting calls from scouts. And these are all guys with different guns. And he says, "He's at 97 now." Wow. So he comes back to school and he touches 98. And he has figured it all out. So that guy is electric. And I think he could be a closer, but he's going to pitch.
That's really interesting, and I've got a list of so many pitchers here
Yep.
that I think can make a difference, and that kind of touches on something you brought up a moment. And I'll just finish this segment with that thought. Like, the opportunities for these pitchers to make their mark might come early in the season. They're going to have to grab those opportunities and do something with it, because if they don't, there's going to be somebody waiting in the wings.
Yeah,
But
COVID might decide some of this. Yeah, COVID might. A guy missed 2 weeks, and then somebody's got his spot when he comes back.
All right, stay with us. More baseball talk. We'll dig into basketball, too, with Clay here on Halftime.
Arts Barbecue and Burgers has several new items they've added to the menu. Stop by Arts and try something new, like the El Diablo Burger, a spicy pork patty with grilled jalapenos, hot barbecue sauce, and pepper jack cheese on Texas toast, or the all-new smoked Philly beef sandwich, or the patty melt, and backed by popular demand, the 14-ounce smoked ribeye. Plus, Arts can handle all your game day home gating or tailgating menus. Try something new at Arts Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers Avenue next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Hertz Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
Achieve your health and wellness goals in 2021 with a fantasy spa or a complete endless pool fitness system from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. There's no better way to start a new year out than with a spa or a great place to get your exercise every day with an endless pool fitness system. And the experts are at Burton Pools and Spas. Hot tubs start at $28.95 and there's 28 different models to choose from. And I love what I read about the endless pool fitness systems. Great way to get your exercise in. Boundless fitness, year-round swimming, and you can get swimming, which is great exercise in your own backyard every day. And when it comes from Burton's, you can count on delivery, complete setup, and total installation from Burton's. Read more online at burtonpools.com or stop in Fort Smith or in Springdale in Northwest Arkansas for all of the details. New spas and endless pool fitness systems from Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Happy New Year from Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Bills, kids, school, toilet paper. Who is buying all the canned chickpeas? Delayed shipments, masks, pandemic, elections. You're on mute. Riots, air fryers, test results, streaming services, the playoffs, unfriended. You can turn it all off, you know. at least for a while. The rhythmic sound of your feet on the pavement, the sun peeking through the clouds on a quiet morning. Let us show you how to leave it all behind. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Every day, 22 of our heroes take their own life. The effects of military service can be too much.
I'll cover you! I'll cover you! Let's move!
You were ready to fight for them in war.
I got you! I got you!
Are you ready to fight for them now? If you know a veteran that could use a little help, call 1-800-542-1031 today.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Costello back to throw, short over the middle. That's what they're going to do. They catch it, lateral it to Peyton. Peyton across the far sideline, out of bounds. It's over. Arkansas wins the ball game. The streak ends in Starkville tonight as the Hogs knock off the 16th ranked team in the country, 21-14, our final score. It's a happy group of Razorbacks. Sam Pittman gets his first win as the Razorback head coach.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Clay Henry with us for this last segment. Questions for Clay at 877-377-6963. Good to be with you on this Wednesday. We talked about the Arkansas pitching staff in the last segment, and I feel like one segment doesn't even do them justice because you got, it's like 22 or 23 pitchers that could make a difference. But wanted to talk a little bit about the other side of things here, Clay. And lineup-wise, there certainly are a few of these positions that are set in stone. Casey Opitz catching, Robert Moore second base, Jalen Battle shortstop, Christian Franklin center field. I don't know if any other position, though, is locked up as of right now.
No, and they have the ability, because of nice combination of right-left, to be able to platoon at some positions. And you kind of think Goodhart's going to be the DH because he's still not able to throw the way you want him to. He's better, and it might, you've got 3 more months of the season, that there's still going to be some more development. But he's defensively, I'm not sure he's there yet with what you could put there if he was the DH. And it could be somebody like Cullen Smith, and that's a name that nobody has heard of. He transferred from East Tennessee State, was really a good player at that level, and set out last year because he transferred, and he led him in hitting in the fall, had a really good summer. He might be a type guy that just, and he's lefty, can hit, so he might, play first base or maybe someplace else. He can play in the infield, corner infield. Could, if you have some COVID issues, could play other places on the infield. And then, there's just a really talented mix of newcomers in Brady Slavens, who's a National Junior College Player of the Year, played 1 year at Wichita State as early enrollee, left-handed power. I mean, he could hit 20 home runs, and he down that right field porch. It's pretty short down there now. At Baum Walker, and
they shortened it by a few feet because of the new building. Yeah,
you got it. And I think left-handed power is going to be. It used to be nobody wanted to come here as a left-handed power hitter, and it's like the wind screams in from the southwest wind. But there's some interesting dynamics with that new building. It kind of blocks the wind, and if you hit something that's not towering, it jumps out in right field really quick now. So those lefties with power, it's and Caden Wallace is the freshman that's just a terrific player. I mean, he's one of those guys that with a bigger draft probably wouldn't have made it to campus. With a 5-round draft, there weren't as many high school players taken. It was college players that were taken in that 5 rounds. So that's and I think Braden Webb in left. I think Nesbitt at third. So I mean, those are some possibilities. And you got some guys like Zach Gregory's lefty that that could jump in there somewhere. Battles is really a good defensive shortstop. 6'2", has range, and both Dave Van Horn and Nate Thompson said his gun is kind of like he doesn't show it until he goes in the hole, and then boom, it is a laser over there. So, defensively, we just kind of tolerated Casey Martin the last couple of years with his defense because of his bat and his speed. But they're going to be better at shortstop with Battles.
Yeah, I agree. I was really impressed with what I saw from him in the fall. Instincts, smoothness.
You got it. Yep.
Just like you're saying, a guy that knows when he needs to show the arm. That was another difference with Casey. It always
scouts love him.
He didn't flip it very much. He always fired it. I saw Battles flip it when he could. All right, so it sounds like we'll have a pretty good baseball team, but you know what? Everybody else in the SEC is dealing with the same talent
load.
Yep. And I don't think I don't know if we're even fully prepared for what the level of baseball might be like. And then there's the other flip of the coin on that, Clay, and I wonder what you think about this. A lot of these guys, only played like 10 games last season. And whatever happened in the summer, they didn't have the normal ebb and flow of what their seasons are like. I wonder if there might be some rustiness that's evident, even more so than usual, for the first couple of weeks, just because they haven't played as many games as they're used to.
Yeah, the one thing that I'll say is they did have, a full fall, and fall was more interesting and entertaining for, the few people that saw it because of the excitement level. Everybody was just, sometimes you've got the veterans that are out there in the fall, and it's like, man, they're tired. They had a long SEC grind, maybe all the way to Omaha, and then they, played some in the summer, and it's like, man, that coming back to fall, it's, they kind of just tolerated it. But that wasn't the way it was this year. So I think the intensity of the fall will help them a little bit as we roll into, the start of the college season. And that's, from what I've heard from scouts and other people, that's the way it was at all the campus, that the fall was really intense, and you had a lot of competition. There's deep rosters everywhere. So I think SEC baseball this year, there's been talk of late that college baseball used to be Class A, similar to Class A in minor leagues, and it's elevated. It's like Double A now, and the position players and the depth of the rosters and the velocity, it's going to be something. And I mean, it's so sad that we're not going to have the ability for everybody to go to every game, because I think even in the midweek games, some of these pitchers are just electric that you're going to see, guys pitch that you just – a young guy to kind of watch out for, Jackson Wiggins, and he throws 95 like it's me and you playing catch. I mean, it's just – and he's 6'6", 250. He looks like an Isaiah Campbell. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. And I'm excited, and I've put in the time the last 2 weeks to kind of learn this team, and the more I study, the more I like it, and just the idea that you've got leaders like Opitz and Copps and Robert Moore is a leader, even though he's only 18 years old. He's just got so much experience.
It's going to be a fun baseball season, isn't it, boys? It's going to be a lot of fun. Clay Henry, the publisher of Hogs Illustrated, joining us here on Halftime. Clay, we got a few more minutes left. Let's transition over to the hardwood. You got a big one tonight against the Auburn Tigers. And, Clay, every game is a must-win, but this game tonight has a different feel that if this must be as much of a must-win as any game this season, just to get some confidence back in this basketball team.
Yeah, and they've stunk it up the last two games. There's no way to get around it. And you feel a little different today after watching Alabama rip LSU. But they had them by 40, and with 8 minutes to go, I was looking up what the NCAA record for threes. They reset their SEC record with 23. But if the last 8 minutes, the starters were out, and if they'd left Petty in and Quinterly in, they would have set the NCAA record of threes. They probably would have got 30 or 32, and it was something to watch. And it kind of changes your thoughts on what happened with Arkansas at Alabama. But even having said that, there's things that they got to fix. They've got to play the 3-point shooter better, because Auburn can shoot the 3 too, and they've got to figure out point guard. And they, I think that you're going to see some things emerge, like Justin Smith, as he plays more and more after coming back from that surgery. And that's, and you got to get Desi Sills going. I mean, those are two guys that you figured were going to be, kind of like stalwarts for this team, and that has been kind of ripped away over the last month.
Last thing before we let you go here, aside from Moses Moody, who needs to have a big game tonight to get the Razorbacks a W?
Well, you can't have guys all down the roster with 0, 2, 1, 3. I mean, just a lot of guys got to pick it up a little bit. If you can have 4 or 5 guys with 6, 7, 8, then it changes everything. And you can't have J.D. Note and Moses Moody scoring 40, but they took 40 shots. Mm-hmm. So those two guys have got to be more efficient, and then you've got to get some help from some other guys. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. You just think they'll play better at home, and Auburn's a dangerous team. They got their point guard back, and it's they're starting to get a little bit of a swagger. But this is one of those games that you kind of circle and say, well, it continued to drop into the abyss, or it's a point where you turned it around.
Clay, appreciate you, man. How about when we have you on next week, you and I compare what the lineup could look like 1 through 9. That sounds like fun.
Well, I got mine already, so you need to get to work on it,
Come
okay?
on, Phil.
All right. So I'll start working on that when the show's over, and we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, boys.
Thanks, Clay.
Enjoyed it. Thank y'all for having me.
Great idea for the basketball game tonight, SmackDown and Joe's Grill and Cantina.
You can't go wrong with Joe's Grill and Cantina. And let me up you one. Matty T, half-price apps and taps tonight during the Arkansas Razorback game. You get the brisket nachos there, all kinds of good stuff at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street in Fort Smith across from Harps. Give them a call at 479-478-9600. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina. Half-price apps and taps tonight during Arkansas-Auburn.
They say, trust the process. But if enjoyment isn't part of that process, don't trust the process. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told ya. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beers. Beer in Texas. St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning. Your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today. 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Tiffany Newman in Mulberry or Warren Robertson in Alma about Shelter's home insurance.
Start your Saturday mornings with a Sipping Saturday brunch menu at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Every Saturday from 10 till 2. Joe's Grill and Cantina is serving a brunch menu with breakfast burritos, breakfast frittatas, and many of your brunch favorites. Get your Saturday morning pick-me-up with mimosas, screwdrivers, and other cocktail favorites. It's the Saturday morning Sipping Brunch menu at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Every Saturday morning from 10 till 2 at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Partly cloudy sky and overnight low will drop down into the upper 20s to low 30s. Partly sunny and breezy at times Wednesday, low to mid 50s. Now Thursday we may see a few isolated showers across the south. Highs in the middle to upper 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hertz Car Sales. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. From the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Get your celebration on. The Razorbacks take a bite out of the Baylor Bears.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Yeah, all right. Wednesday, 12 o'clock. You know what that means. The Meat Hooks are announcing the arrival of the weekend in 5 hours.
I feel like these Meat Hooks are even more important today just because it's birthday week.
Oh, that's right. When is the actual day?
The actual day
is the weekend, right?
It's Sunday.
Your birthday is actually next week.
Technically, no. It depends on how you look at when does the week start in your mind? Does it start Sunday or Monday?
Yeah, Sunday.
No, bullcrap. It starts no.
Sunday's the first day of the week.
The real question is, since I got to celebrate my birthday for an entire show a couple of Fridays ago, did we do anything for you, Maddie, when you had a birthday?
You played the Weird Al song. My birthday's February 7th, so
I didn't get to celebrate your birthday last year because I didn't get here until the 17th of February. So
all three of us are all locked into like a month period for birthdays.
I do.
So what do we celebrate with SmackDown Friday or Monday on the show? Because I'm not doing radio Sunday, no matter what you tell me.
I say Friday. Okay. Friday will be SmackDown Day.
The sooner the better.
How would y'all? Well, I ain't gonna tell you one.
Are you gonna bring cupcakes?
No.
Or are we supposed to do that?
I'm not bringing them out. Well,
I don't bake for anybody. Okay. Not even my own kids. They bake for me.
Would the boss let me crack a bottle of champagne on the show? Like me and Maddie we'll have a virtual champagne toast.
Probably a question for the boss, not me.
No, yeah, that's why. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I know what you're doing this weekend. You're just hanging out. You and Lady SmackDown are gonna have yourself a weekend. Maybe you'll watch. We got a basketball game this weekend. Maybe not. Vanderbilt had their game against A&M postponed tonight, and that's who Arkansas is supposed to play on Saturday. So. I guess the next couple of days are pretty important for us to know whether or not Arkansas has an opponent on Saturday.
And you wonder too if it might get to the point where they reshuffle the schedule around, where they may have they still have a game Saturday, but instead of playing Vandy, you may play South Carolina, or so just reshuffle the schedule around. But definitely keep your eyes and ears peeled open right now to try to see if there's any news that may come across. Did that pun make sense?
No, keep your ears peeled open. That sounds good to me.
Okay, good enough.
Thanks, Vandy. Women's team canceled their season, and now the men's team puts potentially a Razorback game that would have been in Nashville, not a home game, in jeopardy. And I hope it didn't come off too flippantly. Obviously, they've got bigger issues to worry about, and that's why the season's canceled. And again, I think Arkansas women's basketball is looking for an opponent next week, Thursday, because there will be no game against the Vanderbilt Commodores. That also leaves open like an interesting aspect here that I hope you don't deal with in the men's side. Have any of the men's programs across the country shut down? Because there have been 4 or 5 women's basketball Division I programs that have shut down. And I don't mean like the Ivy League and everybody shut down in the Ivy League. I don't think it's happened for men's basketball. But for the women's side, now you have some teams that played Vanderbilt, some that didn't. I think they only played 4 games and lost all of them. So, man, it feels like a disadvantage for the teams that didn't get to play Vanderbilt because it probably was a win for them. So your standings are just a little bit skewed, when the season's over. It's just 1 game. In some cases, it's 2 games for teams. I don't know if Vanderbilt still had 2 games scheduled against anybody else. Good thing Arkansas didn't have them scheduled but once this season. But again, I think they're looking for another opponent. Hopefully they can because we get a baseball game in. Tonight it's an 8 o'clock tip at Bud Walton Arena. 7:30 is the time our broadcast begins on the Learfield IMG Network. Chuck and Z will be courtside, or I guess a few feet away from the court because it's a home game. And our Arkansas is a favorite in this game. I saw the line that my live odds app shows. It's got Arkansas favored by 6.5. I understand why Arkansas would be favored home. Auburn still has been a bit of a roller coaster. I'd say if Arkansas were to be favored, I wouldn't go with the 6.5 points. If you're giving me 6.5 points, I'd take Auburn today, or take Auburn right now.
Probably would. I mean, just based off what we've seen with this team so far this season, I would definitely probably take that bet. If you're them, and if this team will just come out and with the effort and the confidence, they can win this game because we've seen it done before. So this first 10 minutes is going to be very crucial. And not to say that they may be down at halftime, but as long as you're down 10-5, if that's the case, if you're down 10 or 5 within striking distance, that's fine. But don't come out in this ballgame in the first 10 minutes and allow a 40-9 run or whatever it was against LSU, or you're down 40-19. You can't have that in this ballgame. You just can't.
Man, and for the fan base right now, it's like you feel, I'll never put like must win for the team necessarily. Fans have to feel that way. There's no doubt because you just have to be sick of watching what's happened the last 2 games. And now with Saturday's game in jeopardy, I mean, you would certainly not want to go. 3 is a streak, right? Not 2. You don't want to go into what could be a week layoff on a 3-game losing streak. And part of this also, too, it's like, so Arkansas played well on the road at Tennessee and still lost. You came away from that with some more positive feelings, right? You get blown out on the road in a couple of ball games. I mean, if we want to put it on being on the road against the caliber of team you're playing, fine. Like today, we played well, but, not enough to win. No, today is like win or lose, that's it, because we want to see great effort, yes. You want to see, better 3-point defense. You want to see fewer turnovers. You want to see more confidence from this ball club and all of that. And you would think if that happens, all these aspects come together in one game, and we've seen it a couple of times. Heck, they were terrific at Auburn. They were terrific against Georgia. What's to say it can't be all put together again, even with 2 complete eggs laid in the last 2 games? That's one of the things about this team. Like, they have played either incredibly well, Auburn and Georgia, and I mean, I think they played, I wouldn't say incredibly well, but really well at Tennessee. Or they've played just awful. Yeah. Mizzou in the last 2 games. Those have been awful performances. So, man, it's got a little bit of a really high when you're high and really low when you're low theory to it.
Wonder what the vibe will be. Obviously, we know what the vibe will be if it's another blowout, 20-point, 30-point loss, and that's fine. Wonder what the vibe would be if this is a 5-point difference, a 6-point difference, 10-point difference.
I don't want this to be a season where you start to go in the moral victory category.
No.
And I know it's not. This is not a team that right now you'd be like, okay, well, we were just that close to turning things around and getting a win. No, that's not what this team should be this year. This team should be winning games. I mean, you hear every coach that comes in here and talks about them. Bruce Pearl has said it. I think all the other coaches that they played, this is the collection of talent that is here to win ball games. We thought the makeup was there to win games. They appeared to be a team that looked like maybe one of the top 5 or 6 in the league. Are they right now? No.
But can they?
Yes,
Absolutely.
I still feel like, when you've seen them play as well as they have a couple of times, but are those the exceptions? Or is the rule right now bad basketball more often than not? I don't think that's what – I didn't expect that from this. I expected more stability, to be quite honest. I think that's the word we were all searching for.
Yeah, stability. Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. And like you said, hopefully you can get to that point where both teams can – but they can play really well tonight, and then you kind of see that collection of talent come together that you've seen at Auburn, that you saw against Georgia, that you've seen against Tennessee, and can come together and get this win. Having Justin Smith back and slowly getting his legs back under him a little bit, that'll without a doubt help. But like Clay said, you can't, aside from Moses Moody, and even he went 10 of 28 from the field, I think is what the final stat line was. You can't have guys that just go 1-for, 2-fors. Shoot from the field. You can't have that. You need a J.D. Note to step up, or you need a Jalen Williams, Desi Sills. Somebody else is going to have to step up and get the scoring rolling here.
Well, the other game, 2 hours before Arkansas Auburn get going, a couple of desperate teams, Kentucky, Georgia on the SEC Network. You just look at this Alabama dismantling of LSU. Is Alabama really that much better than everybody else? Their three-point shooting is just ridiculous. You had John Petty go 8 for 10. Primo, 6 for 8. Quinterly, 6 for 7. My gosh. Have there been that many field goals kicked by Nick Saban's team in the last, 5 years combined? And their basketball team has 23 three-pointers in one game. And just keep winning. 877-377-6963. Bill King will come on to talk about what is happening over there at Tennessee and some college football talk in a few minutes. So we've got some open phones for you in the next segment. Stay with us on Halftime.
The Energy.
Razorback fans want to make some noise. They're trying to take control of this ball game, and they are up calling the Hogs.
The effort.
Going to the basket, and he throws it down. And hello, dump.
The enthusiasm.
Forces a three, and it goes anyway. Wow, the win, he got it. He got it. He got it.
Catch all the action all season long on your home for the Razorbacks.
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers and Fort Smith.
The 2020s have got to go at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 2020 Ford F-150 STX. Nearly $8,000 off. Only $33,663. 2020 Ford EcoSport Titanium. Over $5,800 off. Just $23,496. And the 2020 Ford Ranger Lariat Super Cab. Only $34,426. The 2020s are priced to go at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
A chicken wing is just a flavor missile covered in awesomeness. And at Buffalo Wild Wings, we're locked and loaded with 26 sauces and seasonings aimed right at your face. So whether you're gearing up for the sweet tang of honey barbecue, Magma Hot Blazing Carolina Reaper, or new zesty lemon pepper sauce, get ready, because your mouth's in the blast zone. 26 sauces and seasonings at Buffalo Wild Wings.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless, at 479-478-6616. That's 479-478-6616 for more details. Or stop by our location at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture, or visit us online at www.shopwownow.com. That's shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Happy New Year from Frank Rowe Furniture. Frank Rowe Furniture thanks all of our customers for your business in 2020. We wish everyone a prosperous new year, and may God bless each and every one of you. At Frank Rowe Furniture, we strive to please our customers and carry as many made in the USA brands as possible. We are family owned and have served the River Valley since 1997. We will be praying that everyone has a blessed new year in 2021. Happy New Year from Frank Rowe Furniture. Best seats in the house.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hogs look to push. Robinson into the front court, feeds Note. Top of the circle, JD's three, rims out, but Smith with a left-hand jam for a follow. There's that 48-inch vertical jump, and he threw that down with the offhand with a lot of authority.
Follow the guys on Twitter, at Phil Elson PXP, at Matt Travis, and at Matt Jenkins44. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR, and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
Back with us here on Halftime, 877-377-6963.
I see, Phil, you've got your glove on. Are you ready to play some catch with your cat?
I do have my glove. I'm actually going to catch the cat. Someone's going to throw her at me.
I was going to say, your cat's got a mean curveball.
Well, no, I've been invited to join a softball team.
I remember you talking about this yesterday.
Team. Yeah, the guys at Razorback Facilities have asked me to join their team. I guess they don't care if they win or lose. They just want somebody to be there to goof around with them.
No, they want guys, that. They want that mean fastball that you threw back in high school.
They don't want me to be there to comment on the games while they're being played. Right? It's always funny, you know, if I've been to a game and I'm sitting by someone and start talking to them and say, "Well, I broadcast games." Like, "Oh yeah, you do some play-by-play for me now?" Like, well, give me $50 and I will. Not for free. I don't do it for free any longer.
What would be what's the crazy? Have you ever done like the craziest thing doing play-by-play before? Like other than baseball.
We needed
or something?
him at the taco eating contest.
That would have been humiliating on my part, but
I might have tried it. I did a couple of those things early in the pandemic. You know what I used to do, and for some of my friends that I'm still connected to from high school baseball, remember when I didn't play, and I didn't play much my sophomore year, started junior and senior years, I made comments on the bench. Some might have been a little smart ass. You know, listeners are saying big surprise. But I was practicing sometimes too. Yeah, so that's how I wouldn't say that's how I got started necessarily.
It wasn't more like play-by-play, but it was like you were one of those two old guys from the Muppets that sit up there and comment.
I would love to hear Phil do play-by-play or do some announcing for wrestling. Like let go back and let Phil call Stone Cold versus The Rock.
That actually reminds me. Yes, I have done some crazy wrestling play-by-play before SmackDown because the Travelers used to do pregame midget wrestling, sometimes twice a year. Even once we did it 3 times a year. And Valentine, my old boss at the Travelers, would make me go. We would have a 7 o'clock game, a game that was set for a 7:10 first pitch. But the midget wrestling event would start at 7, so everybody knew the game wasn't going to start until 7:45 or so. But Bill would tell me, you got to go on the air when you got to go on the air. People expect you to be on. This is how he used to sound, by the way. People going to expect you to be on at 7, so you're going to go on at 7. I said, Bill, what do you want me to do? I mean, you're going to do a 45-minute pregame show? Just comment on the wrestling. So I did blow by blow for Little Kato versus Beautiful Bobby, and sometimes Puppet the Psycho Dwarf was thrown in there for some.
Oh, that's fantastic.
There's actually a.
Do we have audio?
This is 2017. This is a preview, so I don't think Phil's audio is on here.
Oh.
But this is the commercial for it. I don't know if there's any dialogue here.
No, I wasn't working for them in 17.
Yeah, Little Cato versus Bad Boy Brian. Arkansas Travelers.
You realize, like, I'm friends with Little Cato still. I took Cato. My first radio appearance in Little Rock was taking Little Cato, who don't talk smack to Little Cato because he'll kick your ass. He will. He was ripped. And I took him over to meet the one and only Tommy Smith, who you know well, Matty T, in Little Rock. And Tommy was frightened of Cato because apparently Cato, like, kicked him in the ass before a Travelers game years before. So I was like, wow, look at where I'm living now. And then I had to do midget wrestling play-by-play later on that evening.
That says a lot, though, about his athletic prowess because Tommy Smith's pretty tall, and to get his little foot up that high, it had to be quite a feat.
That's true.
I would think if you said he kicked him in the shin, I thought, well, that makes sense.
Well, Cato told me, I mean, he was a great athlete as a kid, and you know what else he was really good at? He is a world-class foosball player. Yeah. So
You don't hear that a lot.
He's super quick, yeah. Professional midget wrestler, professional exotic dancer, and kick-ass foosball player. Isn't it funny how these things all come together at once?
Love it. It's absolutely fan. God, I wish
the shirt that the other guy that he's fighting it says "Got midgets" with a question mark, like "Got milk."
Look at these guys.
They're really embracing it.
He's enjoying that way too much right now.
That's
had
not
heard
a term that I throw around, but that's how
they're calling
their
themselves.
Own event.
Yeah,
yes,
so.
They promoted their own event like that. Boy, it was. Again, I would have never expected that getting into baseball play-by-play meant that I was going to be doing Little Cato versus Beautiful Bobby with Puppet the Psycho Dwarf jumping in out of the blue.
There was
Puppet the Psycho Dwarf legit was psycho, by the way. That guy was crazy. I had him on for a pregame interview. And he described the staple gun match that he had done the week before.
The staple gun match.
And he kept talking, and I said, hold on, just wait 1 second here. I just need to stop you for a moment, and I need you to define a staple gun match.
How do you win the staple gun match? Do you get stapled?
The guy with the least staples wins.
He lost me at just take staples in the face.
Oh.
At that point, I think I went numb.
It's worth your time to look, like, if you get on YouTube and do, like, the craziest stipulations of wrestling. I think there's a Japanese death match where the winner gets powerbombed through light tubes.
Well, that's not actually death, then.
Well, I mean,
I thought you were going to say
death
like match, the loser, gets killed.
Well, I mean, you can't just kill somebody. Well, I guess
I like thumbtacks.
I have a question.
Bro, thumbtacks. Oh.
I have a question for you, SmackDown, and I should have asked Lady SmackDown this on Monday when she called in.
That is her official name now.
Lady SmackDown.
Is she a wrestling fan? And if not, is she ready to become one?
She's not against. She's right now, no, but she is not against the idea, and she has several nieces and nephews that are slowly starting to get into it right now.
So she's not a fan, but she's tolerant.
Now, I will say this: she stole my favorite wrestling shirt out of my closet, and now she claims it as her own.
And you said you really liked that.
And I think she can fit her entire self inside the shirt.
Well, that's up for that's a different discussion for a different day, because it is a big wrestling shirt, and she's all of 5'1". So, but yeah, it was
It's like a T-shirt to you, like looks like a muumuu on her.
It pretty much does.
Well, I hope
she sent me a selfie of her in that wrestling T-shirt.
She's She barely makes it up to your waist.
No.
That's how
There's a pic. I'll send you this picture when I went to her family's Christmas over the weekend.
She had to stand up on the fireplace.
Stand up on the fireplace just to get head level to me.
That's hilarious.
It's fantastic. So to answer your question, no, she's not a fan, but that's just one of the things. Like, I think in this new relationship or whatever you want to call it right now, I have to watch Gilmore Girls because apparently that's her show.
You gotta go both ways.
If I'm doing that, I'm not expecting her to become like the level of wrestling fan I am. But if I'm watching Monday Night Raw, or Monday when eventually they start touring again and they come to Little Rock, or if they go to Oklahoma City or something like that.
It's more than that, though.
Come sit ringside with me.
Part of it is, like, you guys got to be able to sit around and talk about wrestling in the mornings when you're having your morning Coca-Cola, because I know you don't drink coffee. You got to be able to get her into the culture of it so that she can really become your greatest love.
Absolutely.
Scott from Springdale asked about Clunker Car Night at Ray Winder Field. It's when we gave away a used car every single inning, and some of them wouldn't even start up because we got basically the biggest piece of garbage on each car dealer.
I always thought that was the oddest giveaway too, because whenever I'd see the commercial, I'd be like, "Why would anybody want this?" Just to
won
pick
one
hunk
of
of
these
junk
cars.
that doesn't run.
Don't you
That's
love?
cool. Scott won one of these cars. He won a piece of junk Ford Tempo and sold
Oh, wow.
it for $300
$300
in the parking lot after the game.
Wow.
He and just about every other person that won these things would sell them
for scrap.
Immediately.
So was this a Valentine idea, or did the Travelers have like a
It was
marketing
Bill
person?
Because he would do the commercials on TV.
This was all,
promoting
that was all a Bill Valentine thing. The Clunker Car Night has become a thing across minor league baseball for a long time now, but it started in Little Rock at Ray Winder Field in the 70s with Bill Valentine.
That's cool.
Absolutely. And it was the craziest night. I mean, you had people that would come in, it was just like, oh my gosh. Beer sales
through the roof.
Quintuple. Absolutely quintuple. They were entertaining nights, always, and those games lasted forever. I miss some of those games. Funny, we don't do that kind of stuff at college baseball because,
can't get away with beer. Well, I guess you can now a little bit now that you can serve beer there, but can't do
No,
Clunker
it's
Car
not
Night.
that. It's because people care about the game. They actually want to watch the game. They're not there to win a car, They're there because they want to watch a team win.
That too, and then oh God, I just lost my train. Well, that and you're for the Travelers' sake, you're trying to get gate money too, so
yep.
It gets
Greg
there.
wants to know about our take on the first woman to ever ref a Super Bowl. Has this just been announced? I didn't know.
It was earlier this morning. I'll see if I'll find some information here during this commercial break, but she's going to be one of the line judges, I believe.
What's my take, Greg? What the heck took so long?
Pretty much. It's
That's
pretty much it.
how I
I mean,
look at it.
absolutely.
I always say women can do everything a man can do, and usually better.
No, not usually.
Makes sense, man. I mean, now we've just had our first female vice president inaugurated. We have our first Major League Baseball general manager that's a woman. By the way, Kim Ng could have been a general manager like 15, 20 years ago.
True.
Took her 30 years to have a career to get there. Meanwhile, this jackwagon Porter, who's sending Richard picks, got his first GM job in like 10 years and then squandered it in a month. What a schmuck. All right, we'll be back after the break. We're switching over to the garbage fire that is now Tennessee football. Talking about that with Bill King, so stick with us.
RV Show pricing is arriving early at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV wants to invite you to skip the lines and the crowds this year and shop the industry's best brands at Northwest Arkansas's premier RV dealer, and with a lifetime warranty, RV storage, and a mobile service shuttle. Owning a new RV has never been easier. RV Show pricing beginning now at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
That's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
That's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
For a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
All right, here's some information I have on Tennessee Volunteers. And I was told, there's a few things that are going on here. I asked my source, I said, how did they get these assistant coaches on recruiting violations? And he said, well, they put money into McDonald's bags and gave them to the recruits when they came on campus. My source said they were so in your face with this. They weren't even trying to hide it. And that's where my source said, Tennessee got sloppy, Georgia has gotten sloppy, but there's been no word on the NCAA looking at Georgia. But Tennessee, they got sloppy, and they were handing out cash in McDonald's bags.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
Maybe the Tennessee coaching staff could have utilized Ty Richardson's favorite fast food restaurant in Tennessee, which I think is other places across the South. And instead of putting the money in McDonald's bags, could have wrapped it up in cookout aluminum foil, which would have been, I guess they were out in the open about it. At least that's what Dan Patrick said. Who knows, the truth about this? Nothing's been confirmed, but we're going to talk about this. You could call it scandal at Tennessee with Bill King, our friend from Nashville Sports Radio. We have him here every Wednesday, and we appreciate his time. Bill, I thought we would have, slower talk for this week, but then Tennessee goes out with a bombshell on Monday, and just wonder what your thoughts are.
Well, things had gotten weird up there, gotten really quiet, and when they brought in and hired Kevin Steele under the auspices of we're in a hiring freeze. But then they go get him. He's a former Vol, and he coached there, and well, I think he was a walk-on there in the early 80s. I don't think he really played. That's misreported. But I've known Kevin a long time. Anyways, when they brought him in, it got strange. They named him defensive assistant, and then you just wondered if this was a stopgap when they have to fire Pruitt, which it was. Now, Fulmer said at the press conference that Steele had no idea that could be the case. I highly doubt that to be truthful. There's no way he didn't know. And Don D. Plowman, who is the chancellor at Tennessee, said at that podium numerous times, this is bad. Numerous level 1 and level 2 violations. And we know it involves money to players. The McDonald's item, it's kind of interesting. Some reputable people are saying that's not true. Now, okay. It's true about the money, but the whole scheme of the McDonald's visual, they say it's not true. People I talk to say it is true. And anyways, go ahead.
I was just I guess the visuals of that is what we all want to believe because it sounds so outlandish. But
Sure.
I wonder what you thought of the press conference. You referred to what Fulmer said, that Steele didn't know he'd be coming in under the auspices of potentially being an interim head coach again. But by the way, that's the second time he's an interim head coach in a month in the same league. It's incredible. Obviously, that's not true. It felt like, man, that was such a weird press conference. Pruitt gets thrown under the bus. Good reasons why. Philip Fulmer gets lauded by the school president and the system president. But every time Fulmer spoke, I just didn't believe a word he said.
He looks like a defeated man. Think about this. He had one of the best runs they've ever had in modern history between about 95 and 01. Won a national championship, was the LSU game away from another one, at least going to play in it, in 01. Had a really good stretch there. Ended up getting fired in 08. He had 2 losing seasons in his last 3 years. This last time when they hired John Curry, he tried to be the AD. They didn't want him. Each time they haven't wanted him when he's put his name out there, or quietly he's put his name out there. They fire Curry during the last coaching search. Fulmer's kind of he was an assistant or whatever to the chancellor back then, Beverly Davenport. So she inserts him in there. Again, they never wanted him in there. He makes his hire after going through a big mess, and the hire's a disaster. And it's going to end up getting them on probation from the NCAA. And this notion that he's retiring on his own, I don't believe either. There's no way. First of all, you think after what he's already blown again, he wants to try and go out and find another coach under these conditions and then have that one also on his resume? I don't think so. I think he was told, we'll make this look good, but you got to go. And he looked like a man absolutely, I'm at my wit's end. This is it, and I can't fix it.
Well, I also had to laugh when he was asked if he's going to help hire his replacement. He said, if they want me, I'll do it. And I would answer for the chancellor and the president and say, no, thank you. You've done just enough. Go right off into the sunset, and we'll keep a season ticket for you. But I want to ask you, they also try to make a play like, we'll bounce back from this. They try almost make it seem like whatever is coming for Tennessee is almost like no big deal. It feels like that football program is about to be completely exploded. It's going to take a long time to bounce back from. This is not Tennessee because we're a brand. This is a program that's going to be exploded.
Right. I think that's fair. I think that's an accurate assessment. It's going to be tough. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to go out and get a new AD. It'll probably be a Tennessee guy like a Mark Ingram, who's the AD at UAB, who was a long snapper there in the mid-'90s. And I would think Peyton Manning's going to be involved in this too, and he's a Manning guy. Manning and him were there together. And then there's a guy named John Gilbert over at East Carolina, who's also got experience at Tennessee. But they'll get one of those two, probably Ingram, and then he's got to go out and either find a coach or they will either announce Steele's got it for a while. And they may decide, look, this is going to be ugly anyways. We'll get Kevin Steele probably on the cheap, and we'll have to weather 2 years of nothingness. And that could be what they're facing. Or they could go out and whoever they go get, if it's a new coach, it's going to be a reach. Nobody established is going to even sniff that job. So it's going to have to be somebody that you get and project again and hope that your projection is right. And you guys know most of the time those fail. I don't care where you're at. Most of the time those don't work out eventually.
Bill King joining us here on Halftime. Bill, we could talk a little bit more about what direction will Tennessee go? And I think a lot of the fans, or at least around here, think it's going to be Kevin Steele. I think you'd look more across the nation. They'd want to look at Hugh Freeze. Do you think it's one of those two names, or do you think they go in a different direction?
They can't touch Hugh with a 10-foot pole, not under these circumstances. He'd be the best guy to hire, but they can't. You can't fire a guy under NCAA duress and then bring in a guy who lost his job at Ole Miss for a couple of reasons, but one was the NCAA. You just can't. He's too radioactive for them. The timing's poor. there's some hope that they would circle back on Lane Kiffin, who was there a year and left for Southern Cal. Timing's not good there either. Now the good part is Fulmer's not going to be involved much. So, and Fulmer hates it. He replaced Fulmer. Those guys don't see eye to eye. They're not alike at all. But I don't think that's possible. It's going to have to be a reach guy. It's going to have to be somebody like Jamie Chadwell, the coach at Coastal Carolina, who is from East Tennessee. He's from Oak Ridge, which you know is right there by Knoxville, or a Bill Clark, or somebody like that, guys. I mean, there's a long list of those, right? But it's not going to be anybody who's ever done it on a D1 Power 5 level. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, you're probably right, and it's going to be interesting to track to see what kind of route they go. Bill, one thing we've been excited about for the past few days, and I know you know Phil Elson's going to be pumped up about this, SEC baseball getting their schedules announced yesterday. And, Bill, from top to bottom, obviously I think Arkansas and Vanderbilt are going to be and you throw Florida in there, you throw LSU in there, just roughly the top 4 teams in the league. But, Bill, from top to bottom, this SEC baseball season is going to be one hell of a year.
Hope so. Yeah, I was looking at that too. You can start playing the 19th of February, and then after that, they have the SEC league schedule. And I saw, was it Baseball America? Mississippi State and Ole Miss were ranked in the top 10, is what I saw. I mean, you're talking about, you just mentioned it, deep. I love college baseball. I hadn't been a long lifetime love. I probably got 5 years in it. I adopted it here, but I love college baseball. I love those SEC games on the weekend when I'm not out in the yard. And let's not cancel it again. Now let's play this thing out.
Bummer though, no Arkansas Vandy series this year, Bill. I kind of knew that. I think we knew at the end last year that they were just going to keep the same schedule. Hogs visit Tennessee. I think that'll be a really good series, but not going to see Vanderbilt until potentially the SEC tournament, or maybe even in Omaha, which I think is legit for both teams.
Yep. No, I agree. The lighter kid, I don't know if you got to see him, the freshman last year, is a terrific pitcher. And of course they got Rocker and tons of recruits. It's gonna be fun.
Could you describe Tim Corbin's stature on the Vanderbilt campus? It just seems like some foregone conclusion that he sort of runs his baseball program separately from the rest of the athletic department. Is there any truth to that?
Very true. Yeah, I mean, if you think about Vanderbilt, they're very disjointed, very polarized. There's always a battle between academia and athletics. Academia doesn't like them. They get very little support. And in the midst of all of those battles, this guy has developed arguably the top program in America. Under amazing. All of that, in baseball now, at Vanderbilt. And, he's a larger-than-life guy. But I'm sure you guys have gotten to meet him at games, or couldn't be a nicer guy. I'm telling you, man, the guy would give you – he didn't know you. He'd hand you the shirt off his back. Just a tremendous guy. I have talked to him. It's been a while, but through the years about players and scouting different players and how they go about their procedures. It is remarkable to listen to him. And Clark Lee, who is the new football coach at Vanderbilt, and obviously he's got a huge task ahead of him, came from Notre Dame, but he's from Nashville. He spent a lot of time with Corbin, learning under him, just concepts and coaching philosophies and stuff. That's one guy he'd been really leaning on through the years as he was making his way through the ranks as coordinators and stuff.
Well, an interesting bit of trivia, as I'll let you go with this one, Bill, that I learned from the guy who brought me to Fayetteville to work for the Razorbacks doing these games, is that Tim Corbin's college roommate was Jeff Long. That's something? At Wesleyan.
I did not know that. Yeah, I did not know that. Wow.
It's interesting stuff. Bill, appreciate you, man. Thanks for all the Tennessee
guys.
Inside
Thanks,
talk,
Bill.
Man. Have a great week.
Thank you, guys.
You got it. Don't forget about the Fence Man. If you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal, the number at the Fence Man is 479-782-3936. Give them a call, and the Fence Man is there for a quick, no obligations quote. The Fence Man has been specializing in custom installations, things like gates and controlled access card readers, for over 40 years. That's 479-782-3936, and the Fence Man is a division of Quantum Property Services. close the show out with Change My Mind. SmackDown's going after Mrs. Mahomes.
Mama Holmes.
Mama Holmes. And I still wonder if Lady SmackDown hates me. I'm going to figure out a way to get her more on my side here.
Bring it.
Not like it's me versus you, okay? I just want us all to sing Kumbaya together.
Let's do it. Okay.
All right, show closes up. Stay with us.
Attention high school seniors, are you involved in welding classes? If so, United Welding Institute in Pottsville has an incredible opportunity for you. High school seniors that are interested in competing will have the chance to win a $10,000 welding scholarship and welding supplies. There will also be cash prizes for those that finish in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Positions are extremely limited to enter the competition, so to get more info and to sign up, contact United Welding Institute at 479-968-3390 or by logging onto their website, UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
Evans Body Shop in Van Buren is a proud local business serving the River Valley since 2006. Thanks to our customers, our business is growing. We invite you to stop by, call, or drop in and visit with us about our new paint system, work efficiencies, and certification training program for our entire team. Our commitment to you is to continue to embrace new technologies and operational enhancements that provide the very best experience for you, our customers. 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has several new items they've added to the menu. Stop by Art's and try something new, like the El Diablo Burger, a spicy pork patty with grilled jalapenos, hot barbecue sauce, and pepper jack cheese on Texas toast, or the all-new smoked Philly beef sandwich, or the patty melt, and backed by popular demand, the 14-ounce smoked ribeye. Plus, Art's can handle all your game day home gating or tailgating menus. Try something new at Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers Avenue next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Hello, sports fans. This is Sherry Traylor with Floyd Traylor Honda, and we have been proud to be your local hometown dealer for over 43 years. Come out and see us at 3200 South Zero Street and see all of our models we have in stock. Or give us a call at 479-434-5975. And you can check out our full inventory online at trailerhonda.net. And remember to please buy local.
What happened to paying one price and getting everything included? You buy an airline ticket and pay extra to bring a change of clothes, book a hotel room, and you're shelling out for Wi-Fi and overpriced bottled water. Really? Imagine my delight when I found out roadside assistance is now included with my shelter insurance auto policy. So if I get a flat tire and need a jump, I just call and they take care of me. There's no additional cost, but some restrictions apply.
Ask shelter agents Tiffany Newman or Warren Robertson about a free insurance review.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
2021 is finally here and it's time to do business in a new way. Finding the right business solutions has never been easier when you partner with Pinnacle Telecom. Say goodbye to lagging internet and outdated phone systems and start new with the tools you need to make your business work for you. Pinpoint your business solutions today and enjoy 30 days free on any new service that you choose. The right business solutions just for you. That's Pinnacle Telecom. Tomorrow's technology today.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Flanagan has it stolen by Note, and JD's going to dunk it at the horn. Oh, there's an exclamation point. JD Note with the steal. He slams it home.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts, including SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
You might want a little more halftime in your life, so certainly download the podcast. But we all need a little more pina coladas in our life, whether virgin or not. It's
I need
always
one
gonna
for
put
each
a
hand.
smile on your face. That's right. That's right.
You bring up the podcast. I think it was Nate earlier this morning when we got to did the morning show. Texted us in and loved the podcast yesterday with Nate Thompson joining in on the show.
I loved it too.
It was a darn good interview and a really good way to. I can't say kickoff. What's the pun to use for baseball?
Yeah, please don't say kickoff.
No, but like I'm not going to. But like, what's the pun?
It was a real good first pitch.
It's called opening day.
Opening day, really good opening day.
Speaking of
baseball
pina
season.
coladas, too, Eastside Liquor is the sponsor of our podcast.
Yep.
If you want to make yourself a pina colada, what better place to go than Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith?
They got the ingredients and everything that you need.
I've got pre-made. They got the ingredients to make them yourself.
I haven't had a pina colada in a long time.
They have any home run hitters? I hate when baseball terms get thrown into other sports. Every wide receiver that's a deep ball threat is a home run hitter. And then even Muss referred to Sharif Cooper as a home run hitter for Auburn basketball that Arkansas plays later tonight. Like, I get the idea of a home run hitter for football if I have to think about it, because the best you can do in baseball is a home run. The best you can do in football is a touchdown, so that would be a home run. The best you can do in basketball is a 3, I guess. Cooper is like 1 of 16 from 3, so I don't know if he's a home run hitter in that sense. I don't see the translation, although I understand what he's trying to say. But Muss is a baseball guy too, so yeah, just keep the basketball things in basketball. We'll keep the baseball stuff in baseball. They don't have to intersect. It's like how some people like their Thanksgiving plate.
Yeah.
For the food to not intersect. I like my sports terminologies to not intersect that way.
Well, I caught myself.
See, I say it's all going to end up in the same place anyway, so I just mix it all together.
That's true. I caught myself yesterday when we were talking to Coach about, and I believe I asked, like, who's going to be the best hitter, and I said in the locker room. Right. And I don't think
clubhouse.
It's clubhouse. As soon as I said, I was like, it's not the locker room, it's the clubhouse in baseball. So it's going to be fun.
A big difference, man, and that's why I would really love for college baseball to allow head coaches to take the mantle manager. Because I still want to call Dave the manager. I don't want to call him the head coach. I know he's the head coach, but I'm so used to the guy that runs the baseball team being the manager that I want to call him a manager.
What's the difference? And I know we're going to do change my mind here in a second. What's the difference? Like why in the majors is he the manager? And
well,
then
head coach controls all aspects of the organization in that sense. A
Correct.
Baseball team manager does not. He controls what the lineup card's going to look like, who's playing, who's pitching, that kind of stuff. The general manager would control the roster makeup and all that sort of stuff.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
It's pretty rare I don't know if it's happened for a long time, manager and GM to be the same thing. But to me, that's the difference.
Gotcha.
And that's the difference
I
can
never
go
really
with.
thought about it like that. So interesting. Okay. Answers that question. I'm pumped up for this baseball season. So we got a lot, like you said yesterday, got a lot more stuff we've got planned for you guys to tip off first pitch opening day baseball. Who's your friend up there, Phil?
The kitty cat has come onto my desk.
Doesn't
here.
she
All
know
of a
you're
sudden
trying to work?
All of a sudden, she wants to be a show host.
Yeah, tell her to say something in the mic.
We need to give her her own headset.
Let me tell you something, girl. I feed you. This is my microphone. Don't break in on my show. I won't break in on yours, okay?
Quite a look she's giving you, too.
Let's do some change my mind.
Did she just change my mind?
Now, I don't care what you say.
Nothing can make me change my mind.
I won't change my mind about you.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Oh, that is just so disrespectful for you to say something like that. Say it with your chest.
Change my mind.
All right, man, you go first. You have one set up for us.
Had one yesterday, but it was going to be good today to do it today. Also, and we have Dan and Hughes jumping on the show with us tomorrow, so we're going to talk a lot of Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow. And obviously, the big talking point is going to be Patrick Mahomes, if he's going to be ready to rock and roll for this ball game coming up against the Buffalo Bills for the AFC Championship game. So I've got two, and I'll rattle through these real quick. Patrick Mahomes' mom called out Mack Wilson, the guy that hit Patrick Mahomes on the injury, And Mama Holmes tweeted out at her Twitter page, number 51 Wilson, that's some trash football, leading with the helmet, putting his head and pushing helmet. Why are you not thrown out? Come on, NFL. Randy Mahomes, you need to chill out because, first of all, there wasn't even I didn't see targeting on that play. First of all, that was just me. 2, he's a grown man, Mama. He's going to be just fine. And then he tweeted out later, Mac Wilson said, prayers to Mahomes. I pray you're back next week. Going to be great like you've been. He said, all good, brother. So why does Mama Mahomes have to feel the urge to come out and do that? So,
well, I'm nervous some of the things I say to you because I don't want your mom to come up here and kick my butt.
You don't want Mama coming
Mama
on there,
Smackdown.
So change my mind. Mama Mahomes just needs to shut up with that. Last one for me, Matty T. It's in our audio bar if you want to play this here in a second. Colin Cowherd. He had a very, very idiotic take for this game. So
he's on an opposing station, isn't he?
No, well, it's
company.
He's with an opposing people, but it's on our B bar, Matty. So if you want to hit that for me,
Mahomes against Josh Allen, right? Like that's reasonable. And I'm sitting here this morning thinking, if I'm the NFL, Patrick Mahomes is going through protocol. I find the day Patrick Mahomes can play, that's when we play. Why not?
So basically, Colin Cowherd says we just need to postpone the AFC Championship game for the benefit of Patrick Mahomes. Really? So that's pure insanity. Those are my 2 change my minds because first of all, Mama Holmes just needs to stay out of business. Colin Cowherd, they ain't changing this AFC Championship game for one player, even if he is the biggest player in the league. My friend.
I just love that you say Mama Holmes, and it could that's like one letter away from something you don't want to be calling Patrick Mahomes' mom. So be careful the way you say
Mama
that.
Holmes.
Okay? Mama Holmes. You might want to have like a little space in between. My change my mind is that I'm going to have you guys. I'm going to have Maddie and his lovely lady, SmackDown and Lady SmackDown for dinner sometime. I think that's the best way for your lovely ladies to get to know me and to like me because I know Lady SmackDown does not. She still thinks I don't like her because she can't quite get my sarcasm yet, and it's understandable. So the best way to deal with that is to be around me a lot more than you want, and then you'll learn like when I'm being sarcastic and when I'm not. Like even my parents have trouble figuring out sometimes. So I was
going to say, what's your lady's feelings?
All she knows is what I say of him, so she wouldn't know.
So
what
it's
to
not
expect.
good.
No, I didn't say that. It's only good. I only mentioned the good things. She sees how excited I am when I leave the house every morning.
That's right. He's always singing Zippin'
Yeah,
Doo-Dah.
I'm skipping right out the front door.
Exactly right. All right, well, we've made it to the end of another show. It's been fun today. We did not get any breaking news. My gosh. So we don't have a breaking news streak. We do not. That's such a bummer. Let me just take one quick look at where I was looking, just in case.
Nothing.
The news that I'm hoping comes out today does come out because I kind of have an inkling of what it is.
Oh, whoa.
I just couldn't really, say it.
What are you teasing, Phil?
Loud. I can't do it. I can't. I can't release this news. I can't break it. But I'm sure we'll be talking about it tomorrow. So.
Maybe they can wait until tomorrow.
So basically, we need to be cheating in on Twitter for the next few hours.
Yeah, like in the next 2 hours, I think.
Okay.
All right, so for SmackDown, Matty T, this is Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC.